So I'm going to start from the 4 hour, which is usually what we do on this channel. So on this channel, if you notice, I mostly trade from the 4 hour down and get my entry at 15 minutes. So what was happening here was we had a demand zone that we are looking at this area. All right, you can still refine it up onto this area here. But this was our demand zone that we are expecting, sorry, a supply zone that we are expecting price to drop from. All right, so what we are looking for was any form of reaction inside of this, because usually what we point at as our point of interest is whenever there's a high or a low taken out into a point of interest. The moment we see a reaction from that point of interest, then we begin to frame our trade idea, because what we focus most on is directional bias and not looking at the overall trend when dealing with our trade. So we don't normally consider the trend in this channel. We are mostly focused on directional bias, and we trade in alignment with the directional bias. So when we got that entry into the 4 hour, at the time of this trade, this candle was forming. So when this happened and started dropping, what we did was go to the 15-minute time frame. So when we got to the 15-minute time frame, at the time we are looking at this particular trade, this was what was forming. So what we had here was this drop, right? So this was the drop that was happening at this point. So what we discovered that happened after when the drop started was a change in state of delivery. These are a series of buy candles that took out this high, moving into the POI, all right, which is our point of interest. And so when we saw that, we saw a change in state of delivery here. So this is our change in state of delivery. All right. So this is our change in state of delivery. And then when we started getting a retracement, we had to start looking at our fib. So when we drew our fib, it was from this high down to this particular low right now. So we were looking for an entry around the 618 and the 78.6, which is our OTE zone. And just around that area was also a 15-minute order block, and then a high, which served as an inducement for this price movement. So we were looking for price to actually take out this high into this area and then sell off. All right. So what we finally did was, because of I began to understand a couple of things that was happening throughout the week that we experienced losses. It guided me in putting my stop loss for this trade. So instead, I used my stop loss above the. So I entered at the 618, and the stop loss was above this place. It was close around this area. So price was moving higher and went almost to our stop loss, and then we started seeing a drop.